Diddy ordered the $1 million hit on Tupac.
Puffy Combs and Zip and the Southside Crips were all connected.
I think that these guys probably went to Puffy and them and said that they can really, they can take care of the situation.
So this is all Puffy doing. Yeah.
We're not even going to go there, with all due respect.
After Pac got killed, Puffy gave Zip $1 million that was supposed to be handed over, and Zip ended up keeping it.
People are noticing some more skeletons in Sean Diddy Combs' closet from decades past. This on the cusp of possible pending criminal charges amid the mounting legal woes and sexual assault lawsuits against the rapper, record producer, and music executive. Combs has now been accused of threatening to kill a magazine editor nearly 30 years ago.
Sean Diddy Combs' trouble won't end anytime soon because he is now facing more serious accusations. More shocking proof has surfaced, revealing that Diddy has allegedly been dishing out death threats to several people. Yes, you heard that right. Death threats.
That Sean Combs allegedly threatened to kill former Vibe magazine editor Danielle Smith back in 1997. She says Combs told her that she would, quote, end up dead in the trunk of a car over a dispute regarding his cover story on the magazine known for chronicling black culture and black music. Well, the then editor-in-chief wrote this and more in a New York Times essay about Diddy and explains how the rap star was selected to be the cover star for the December 1997, January 1998 issue. This was following the death of Tupac and Biggie Smalls. And she details never before known secrets about Combs, including an account how after his cover photo shoot in Manhattan, which was set to be modeled after the 1978 film Heaven Can Wait, it would feature him on two covers wearing angel wings, with one angelic, the other with kind of a mischievous look. Well, a few days later, Combs apparently wanted to see the covers before going to press, but it wasn't the policy of the magazine to do such a thing. And after Smith told him no, she says there were rumors that he planned to force the magazine team to show him the prints. And as Smith points out, there was vague talk circling about Combs' other alleged criminal escapades, a possible beating at the bad boy offices, plus his reputation for ruffling feathers. Well, sure enough, she claims he shows up at her office. She explains that with the help of security and other staff members, she was able to make an escape. And according to Smith, Combs then called her the next day, and she says that's when he made the threat that he would, quote, see her dead in the trunk of a car, and also purportedly said, F you. Well, within 2 hours, and after calling her lawyers, she writes that Combs faxed over an apology. But it didn't quite end there, because soon after, Smith says a couple of servers had been stolen from the office. These were ones that housed the files for that particular issue. And she says a rumor went around that someone had let in movers to the building from Bad Boy. So, to talk about this, I am joined right now by criminal defense attorney Fred Perry, who's a friend of the show, hasn't been on in quite some time. I don't know, maybe been ignoring us? That's fine, that's fine. No, Fred, so good to see you. Thanks so much for coming down and talking about this. Such an interesting update. I mean, what do you make of it? And do you think it's gonna factor in any way into this laundry list of accusations facing Sean Combs right now?
Great to see you, Jesse. Yeah, I mean, what jumps out to me right away is if this federal probe ends up in an indictment with certain charges that involve crimes of violence, whether they be, the sex trafficking that's been reported or any other crimes of violence, the prosecutor can reach back to 1998 and actually ask a judge to allow them to introduce evidence of a death threat from 1998, even though it's beyond the statute, even though it's never been charged. It's what's known as other crimes evidence that a jury can hear and make a decision based on whether or not they feel like there is a pattern in this guy's life of violence, death threats, shooting people, beating somebody up, a hallway video showing beating a girl up in the hallway. I mean, my first thought is this could come back to haunt him from 1998.
But isn't it also true they have to be careful about not just including any bad allegation, because it could be improper character evidence, right? I mean, there has to be some sort of connection to whatever purported charges there are, assuming there are charges on the horizon.
Hell of a thing. Former editor of Vibe magazine.
says Diddy issued a death threat. Put it up full mass over a cover.
With millions watching and many people benefiting from this program called Indisputable, we just need 1% of the viewers to become a paid member so we can continue to bring this content to you. Now back to the show.
Now this is wild, all right? In addition to everything else, former Vibe editor-in-chief Danielle Smith recalls an alleged death threat and frightening encounter in the office with Sean Diddy Combs in a feature for the New York Times Magazine. Smith wrote that after a cover shoot of Combs for Vibe, this was back in 1997, the rapper requested to see the pictures before they were published. A request Smith vetoed because it went against the magazine's editorial policy. Combs allegedly threatened Smith, saying, quote, that he would see me dead in the trunk of a car, end quote, over not seeing the photos. Let's put a picture up again. I got to say this, for Ms. Smith to say this, she has significant credibility, okay? I'm president of a magazine, Rolling Out. It is against editorial policy to show somebody pictures, articles, etc. You don't do that, okay? So she was correct in the proclamation, and I'm sure Diddy was well aware, being who he was in 1997, already very familiar with the industry. When she held her ground, Ms. Smith wrote that Combs then allegedly stalked her at the Vibe office. Smith said Combs was later forced to apologize after she brought in her lawyer. But she added that for years later, she blanked out his appearance in her office and her being hustled out a back entrance to escape him.